Hi, my name is Tom. Some of you might know me as Bowl of Salmon on Instagram, and I was never gonna do a Rolex video like this. If this is your first time visiting the channel, this wasn't a clickbait title. I'm really gonna get hands-on with 4 popular Rolex models. My Explorer 2 video is still the video with the most views, but that was a personal story, and I never wanted to do a Rolex video for the sake of doing a Rolex video. Yet, here we are. So, what's the idea? A while ago I borrowed my best mate his complete watch collection. And guess what? It's all Rolex. Yeah, I know, I need to educate him. I originally wanted to do some sort of word bingo, where I'm not allowed to say all the buzzwords surrounding Rolex, but I've realized that just wouldn't be possible. So, on to the first watch. Well, late 2020, his first ever serious watch he got after an 11-month wait was the Rolex GMT Master. I hear you thinking, wait a minute, you don't start out with a GMT without any prior watch purchases? Well, apparently miracles do happen when your AD is a good judge of character. But maybe some dumb luck was involved too. See, a year earlier he and his wife walked into an AD because he wanted to have a look at some watches. The AD showed him a watch that was available at the time, but he wanted to sleep on it and think it over. A week later he came back and asked to see it again, and of course it was gone. He literally had no idea at the time that it's rather exceptional that any of the watches on display would also be available for purchase. So that probably cemented his non-flipper status. He looked at some more watches and really just chose the one he fancied most at the time, without looking at aftermarket prices or what is hyped most. Because ChatGPT was down again, here is my short overview of the Blue Noir GMT, aka the Batman. Or should I say Batgirl, because he picked up the version with the Jubilee bracelet. And oh my god, this is the most comfortable bracelet ever. The reference 126710BLNR has the bezel insert in blue and black ceramic, and it comes in a 40mm oyster steel case. It is powered by the caliber 3285, which has a power reserve of 70 hours and a precision of a whopping +2 or -2 seconds per day. There is a GMT and date function, and the watch has a rotating bezel that allows you to track up to 3 time zones. A little under a year later, he got the call again, and I didn't believe him when he told me. The Rolex Submariner 126610LV had landed. For those who don't speak Rolex reference numbers, Lunette Verte. And for those who don't speak French or have CVD, the green bezel Submariner, aka the Starbucks, aka the Surmit. The latest generation of the Submariner date comes in a 41mm Rolex oyster steel case with an oyster steel bracelet and gives me a case of, damn, I want a glide lock on all my watches now. While I'm not the biggest Submariner fan, I can totally see why this one is so popular, because that green bezel just gives it a bit more of a unique vibe to it. The green is a lot more muted or darker in real life than you see on the product photos or renders. Now personally, while the green bezel has grown on me, I still prefer his black Submariner. Yes, his black Submariner. At this point I stopped asking. I mean, he is charismatic and charming and all that, but really, leave something for the rest of us. A year and a half later and I'm still waiting on a Milgauss. I'd like to take a minute and thank the sponsor of this video, and that is Everest, for providing this beautiful watch box. This watch box has a really beautifully lacquered wooden finish, a microfiber lining on the inside, and it allows for storing up to 4 watches and still leaving some room for some of your watch tools or straps. So thank you Everest for sponsoring this video. Now you have already seen it, it is time for the grand finale, and this was the kind of watch that even I was scared to handle. His latest purchase, or do I have to say allocation? Well, anyway, this is one that you don't see very often. It's the Cosmograph Daytona in Everose Gold. All I can say is, wow. Okay, we are moving out of the territory of steel sports watches here, and with the move up to 18 karat Everose Gold, we are talking a totally different budget, but damn, this thing is gorgeous. As weird as this sounds, I'm not a Rolex fanboy. I never longed for a Submariner. I also thought I'd never want a Daytona. But a couple of months ago I was able to try on the white steel Daytona, and damn, now I know why everyone wants one. Those slim dimensions for a chrono are incredible. This one comes on an Oyster Flex bracelet that is measured to fit your wrist. The clasp also has the 5mm EasyLink extension that can also be found on the Explorer 2 or the GMT Master. And what makes these rubber straps so comfortable are the flappy bits on the inside. They act as a cushion and a way to create a bit more airstream to avoid that sweaty rubber feeling. See, I managed to talk about Rolex watches without going into the hype, wait lists, or even mentioning the word grey market. I didn't talk about the fact how much I also hate waiting to be allowed to spend my money on something. And like most of us, I can only hope to get the call soon. For myself, I'm really curious what will happen to the Milgauss at Watches and Wonders. I just hope that they leave the blue dial alone. They can upgrade all the rest if they want, but just leave the blue alone. The only other watch I'd like to see is maybe a black and red GMT Master, aka a Coke bezel. I'd love that. Are you patiently waiting for something, or did you give up? What is your favorite watch in the Rolex catalog? Let me know in the comments. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. Just be kind. That's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.